What's up, my people? Welcome back to episode 3 of Headaches and Heartbreaks. I'm your host, Devon Smith. Alongside me, we have a strong, courageous young woman. The true definition of light at the end of the tunnel, Cinthia Astacio. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Dev. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Can't complain.
That's what's up. Well, I appreciate you for being on the show.
Thank you for the invite.
No problem. So today I wanted to get into a couple of things. Your brother's a good friend of mine, and I feel like you have an interesting story that I wanted to get into.
Sure.
I understand that you've had like a lot of controversial things happen in your life with being a lesbian, and also
Wait,
some traumatic.
I'm a lesbian?
Yeah. I they don't know that, but I do. Also some traumatic things that might have happened in your past. So I wanted to kind of just, get into a couple things about that,
Sounds good.
Yeah. So let's just start off with like family and everything like that. So like, how's your family relationships and like?
I have my own family now. I'm married. I got 2 kids. So that family life is, as good as it can be.
Okay.
The family I grew up with, not so much. I'm not very close to any of them, unfortunately. Primarily because, I am a homosexual.
Okay.
And whatnot. So they didn't agree with that too well.
Do you think that now that you're older, like maybe you can change that or come together? Not necessarily you change it, but you guys can all come together and try to figure something out for like the best of your family.
Honestly, at this point, no. Primarily just I've definitely tried. It's never been an issue of not trying.
Okay.
But there's a certain point when you're putting too much effort in, and it's pointless to try and wait and hope that they're gonna turn a new leaf, basically. So
okay.
For me, it's just kind of pointless.
So you try. So if they come to you and they say, "Hey, let's work this thing out," you're willing to sit down and talk about things?
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
I'm not going to be the one chasing anymore.
Okay. So you said you had your own family, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So
I do.
You married, have a girlfriend?
I am married.
Okay.
Beautiful wife, Nicole. And we
Okay.
got 2 kids together, Cheyenne and Callie, 11 and 9.
Okay. That's what's up. So how is that going?
It goes really well. I can't complain. We actually just work really well. Like, a lot of couples, whether they're dating or married, they tend to argue about money.
Okay.
And that tends to be the number one reason that people get divorced and things of that nature. Right. It's never been our issue. If anything, we argue about who's gonna fill the gas tank up next.
Okay.
Because neither of us like to do that. So we work really well together.
I think the more masculine one should probably do the gas tank filling up. So which one is that?
Yeah, she says the same thing, and that would be me.
Okay. So are you in control of fixing the car and shit, going to clean it out? Does she wash dishes and?
Oh, we both do.
Typical?
We have a dishwasher, but we also the dishwasher is actually our children.
Okay.
They, for the most part, they clean up the house. They do the dishes, all of that stuff. I do all of the car repairs. I build our own furniture and stuff like that. That's kind of my job. She takes out the trash, though.
Damn. Okay. You got it down. I like that. Cool. So how does the children take on having 2 moms in the house?
They both like it, actually. They know their father, but their father is not in the picture much.
Okay.
So, and they're not a big fan of him anyways, because he's a big drug user. This is kind of their take on things. But they've never had a problem with having 2 moms or anything like that, especially here in Illinois. It's just kind of like a norm to them. Okay. Plus, I've been in their lives since Cheyenne was, I want to say 4, maybe 5. Callie was, actually no, Cheyenne was about 6, so that would make Callie about 4.
Okay.
So I've been around for a long time.
So I wanted to know, so when did you know that you were gay?
I was extremely young, actually. I'm so bad with age. I was it was definitely about 5th grade, I want to say. I've never, my family is very Christian Catholic, so I wasn't 100% sure on how that actually worked. But I met a girl, and I thought she was just the finest thing that ever walked earth, which I feel like is how most men feel. So kudos to you guys. But yeah, no, I was extremely young. I came out first to my stepfather. around the same time. And then I was forced out of the closet by my principal in 7th grade. So I was pretty young.
The principal forced you out?
Yeah.
How did the principal do that?
So I used to play basketball, and one of my friends found out that I was interested in girls, and so it became an issue, I guess you can say. It wasn't really an issue. It was just more so like people were talking about it. Like it was new to them, and we were all really young, so they were all kind of confused. So it was a conversation more so.
Right.
But my coach, who was just the most manly of men, freaked out. He was like, I don't know how to deal with this kind of thing.
I bet.
So he got the principal involved, and the principal was like, oh, this is also not a situation that even she could deal with. So she was like, well, we're gonna talk to your mom and see how she wants to deal with it. And I even told him, I was like, dude, my mom doesn't know. You can't do that. That's bogus. She's like, no, we're gonna let your mom know.
That's crazy though. Like, what's the big deal? So do you ever find men attractive?
I mean, yeah, I think men can definitely be attractive. Dev, I think you're attractive. You have an attractive personality for
Thanks.
sure.
Wait, I have an attractive face too.
No, but I mean, like, yeah, like men can be attractive. Having a nice body in general is attractive.
Okay.
I would never want to be in a relationship with a man. That would suck.
Okay, so if you were to pick one man to be in a relationship, if you're just saying like just one man, like your dream man, who would it be?
Channing Tatum.
Mr. Magic Mike himself.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. He's he's the finest of men. I know that obviously there's other people, like people really like Thor and stuff, and even like Loki, but Channing Tatum's he's my kryptonite. He would probably be the person, if anything, that got me straight, because on top of everything else, he's rich. Like, fuck it, whatever.
Okay. I would say my celebrity crush would be let me think. Somebody super fine. Let me
Beyonce.
think. No, I don't like Beyonce that much. I'd rather take Kelly over Beyonce, but I would say maybe I'm just gonna go with Kelly Rowland.
All right.
She's fine and chocolate. I like it.
She is. She is. My female celebrity crush is always going to be Rachel McAdams.
Don't know who that is.
She's the white girl from, or she's the main character of The Notebook. But I only like her if she has red hair.
Never seen The Notebook.
Bullshit, you've never seen The Notebook. Everybody's seen The Notebook.
No, I have. What is it about? Just some lovey-dovey shit?
Yeah, it's a romantic comedy where like they meet in like the 40s or some shit. And it's just like their love story, but then she gets old timers, and yes, I call it old timers. So she forgets like her whole entire life, and he has to go through and like remind her, which is where that story takes place.
So he has to make her happy again, basically.
Yeah.
Cool. So tell me about the happiest times in your life. Give me a happy time in your life.
The happiest time, or a happy time in my life. I would probably say, that's kind of tough. There's a lot of happy moments in my life.
Just give me one that you can just think of that was like the happiest moment. Like, damn, this really made me happy. Whether it's from like your marriage, kids.
No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, I'd probably say when my son was born. He's 6 now.
Okay.
He was a complete and utter accident. Like and I don't mean like we didn't want him in any way, shape, or form. Like we didn't know he existed until my ex was 7 months into the pregnancy. Like he was like totally unexpected.
She didn't like show it all?
She didn't show her everything else that could possibly like go wrong. Just was like there was no indication whatsoever.
So like she still got her period and everything?
Yep. Everything was just normal. All her pregnancy tests that she took, she passed with flying colors.
Damn.
We just had no idea. So like 7 months in, we finally find out that she's pregnant. And it's like, shit, what are we gonna do? Like we're both still teenagers for the most part. How do we even support a child? How do we, get all the things that we need for this child? Like what in all hella are we gonna do with so little time? And he was a little early, not too early, but a little early for sure.
So like a little premature.
No, he wasn't premature. He was just like his due date was not, he was born in August, but he was, what's the month after August?
September?
Yeah, he was supposed to be due in September, but he was born in August.
Okay, my son was born in August too.
Oh, that's Leo party.
Oh yeah. So take me to one of your proudest moments then, a proud time in your life.
My proudest moment is probably with my oldest daughter, Cheyenne. This kid cracks me up. Honestly, she's really cool. But she, when we were living in Florida, she had this bully, and the bully was the principal's daughter of all freaking people. And this kid would just give her shit all the time. She would get physical even. And every day she would come home and she'd be like, that bully was being a dick again. And I'd be like, well, you got to stick up for yourself. There's a certain point where you just have to stick up for yourself. There's nobody, like, your parents can't go to school with you. You know, we can't be like, okay, guys, enough is enough. That's just not how life works.
Before you go on, do you think that bullying, do you think these kids learn it from home, or is it that it's something like circumstantial happen at home, or they're just assholes in general? Like this kid, he's just an asshole.
I feel like it's a little bit of both. I feel like kids in general tend to be assholes, especially in that age group. But I also do think that it does have something to do with at home, where most of the time it's just that they're not getting enough attention at home, which is not the rarest thing in the world, but some kids just don't handle it, you know, as well as others. So what's the best way to get that attention? Well, if they act out in school, their parents are forced into that communication by another adult, right? So they look at it as, I'd rather get in trouble than be ignored. And that makes sense to me. But at the same time, yeah, I think some kids are just assholes. Like, there's no reason behind it. You're just a dick.
So now what happened to your daughter?
Oh, yeah. So she just finally stuck up, or she finally defended herself against this bully, and it was actually awesome. So this bully was giving her shit, and she got a little physical with her. And so my oldest daughter pushed her into a corner and just went ham on this girl.
She beat her ass?
She beat her ass.
Okay.
And the principal called myself and my wife in, and at first we were worried because we weren't 100% sure what happened.
Right.
And so we came in, and the principal's furious. And she's like, your daughter did this, that, and the other thing. And I go, wait, hold on. So you're telling me that my daughter's in trouble with you because she defended herself? And the principal's like, well, you know, we don't tolerate violence here. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, clearly you do, because your daughter started this. Right. A. B, Cheyenne, gave her a high five right in front of the principal. And I was like, if we're done here, I'm going to take my daughter for some ice cream.
Okay.
Like,
that's dope.
That was it. Because it's like she finally because so many kids, like, they grow up getting bullied and they're just like, this is it. This is just life. This is how it's going to be. And they don't do anything about it. And for her, she was like, you know what? No, enough is enough. I'm not going to be the bullied. And hell yeah, I was proud of her.
She did. She whooped some ass.
She whooped some ass.
Shout out to you. That's dope. Do you think having two female parents, like, contributed to the bullying, or people at school don't know about it? Like,
no, they do know about it. But she was being bullied because of I think it was like her shoes or something, or like because she's really into like anime and stuff. So okay. she's out there, I guess you can say.
Is it like Hot Topic wear almost?
Almost, yeah.
Okay.
So it was more so about that. And then also, like, she was getting bullied because, which I think is actually really funny, but she was also being bullied because she was top of her class. Mm-hmm. So they're basically like, oh, you're a nerd kind of thing. And it's like, you're just upset that she actually reads at a high school level and you're a dumbass.
Right.
But,
stupid ass kid.
Yeah. But no, she's never been bullied because, you know, her parents are gay or anything like that.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. I feel like there was a time where my son was feeling like he was being bullied, but I feel like it stopped really quick because his mom will fight kids and shit, and then she will also fight the teachers, you know, like go up there and snap off, you know what I'm saying? So that shit kind of cut off pretty quick. So,
I mean, I would fight a teacher, hands down.
Yeah, for your kid, I would do anything for my kid.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. I mean, like, how are you going to take advantage of a kid in general? Like, it's just, you must be a very small person to feel like it's okay to do that. So, yeah, I'll fight you. That's okay. I'll win, too.
So can you take me to a traumatic time? And traumatic as in, I know you just said take advantage of a kid. So let's like hear a little bit about that.
Well, yeah, I have my own traumatic experience when I was a kid. My stepfather took advantage of me as well. He raped me when I was really young. That's also one of the, that's actually where like my family situation and how it kind of started to crumble. That's where it really started. And then adding on like, hey, I'm also gay, guys, and it actually has nothing to do with this experience, I think really kind of put my family on like a completely different plane than me.
Okay.
So I was about 11 when it happened. And like I said, it was my stepfather. I remember it being during a Bears game at night. And for me, because I primarily had to go through that entire experience afterwards, like the dealing with the police, going to the hospital. I really had to deal with that all on my own. And I think that was also one of the reasons that I have a pretty crappy relationship with my family, as a whole.
Okay.
There's really only like 2 people in my family who took my accusation at face value, whereas everybody else was not, which was weird to me because nobody actually liked the guy.
Right.
But they, for some reason, felt the need to defend him.
Like it was almost hard to believe that he would do something like that, you think?
Yeah. And I mean, like, as a parent now, like, I completely understand you not wanting to believe it because you never want something bad to happen to your kids. You know, that's just how it works. But to push that agenda to a situation of, I'm just going to outright call you a liar because I don't want to believe it, that's just selfish. That's you trying to take care of you. And you know what? That's fair. But as a parent, your kids are supposed to come first.
It's like you don't want to believe somebody that you have love for would actually do something like that to your kid. So you're denying, and just like believing in your own mind like that shit could never happen,
Yeah.
And you want to believe it, but then in the back of your mind, your kid comes to you and tells you that. It's you believe something's going on.
Yeah.
Like 100% I believe that. Because I couldn't even imagine my son coming up to me telling me something like that. I feel like I'm just gonna go to jail.
Yeah.
Regardless, like I already know what's gonna happen,
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even. I would take it for what it is. Like if he told me that, because he talks a lot, so I would definitely be locked up somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would have the same experience there as well. If my daughters came home and said that, even if it wasn't to the extent of my particular situation, there's just a line. Like growing up, my grandmother, she's very, very old school, but growing up as, one of the girls in the family, she would never allow us to sit on like our grandfather's lap or like an uncle's lap or any male family member. And her reasoning behind it was always like, I mean, it's a really shitty reasoning behind it, but her idea on it was that men are, in a sense, incapable of handling their body, right? So she didn't want to take the chance, in a sense. She was actually one of the 2 people who believed me firsthand. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that men can't handle themselves, because they can.
We get NRBs, though.
NRBs?
Yeah, we definitely get NRBs.
Something boner. What?
No reason boners.
No reason boners.
Yeah, that happens.
I mean, I guess
it wouldn't. I don't know how it could happen with a kid on your lap. That's kind of fucked up. But I mean, like just everyday life.
You wake up and you're like, "What do you want from me?"
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I can. I don't have that problem.
Well,
thankfully,
yeah,
I don't have to take cold showers in the morning.
So she said. So obviously, she didn't let you sit on the laps, and then.
Yeah. So, growing up with that in my mindset, anyways, I always kind of felt like because that was kind of something that everybody in our family understood, that me coming out and telling the truth would just be taken as face value, and it just kind of never was, it was weird to me. But the thing, like my mother, I understood my mother's side of things of not wanting to necessarily believe it. It was everybody else, it was my aunt, my brothers, or they were just like, nah, like it's just bullshit. Like it just didn't happen. There was no love for that particular person, right? Nobody liked this guy. So there was no excuse, I guess you can say, of having the opinion of you're just a liar. Was
it something that you've done in the past that might have made them believe you're lying? Like, were you like the rebel child? Or like why though? Like why did they feel like, okay, Cinthia came to us and told us this? Like why don't they believe me? Like is it something that
There was one situation, and I wasn't rebellious until after this, actually. Okay. However, that particular time that I actually was able to go to the hospital, things of that nature, that wasn't the first time that it happened with my stepfather. So the very first time anything happened, I actually did go and tell my mother.
Okay.
And the issue with that was that he had some like stomach issue or something like that. and stress caused him to have to go to the hospital. And so I confronted my mother about it, and he ended up having to go to the hospital because he was freaking out, right?
He was nervous.
He was fucking
sick.
nervous. And so because of that, I remember going into my mom's room afterwards, and she was bawling her eyes out. And so I went over to confront her and, comfort her and things of that nature. And I just remember her saying, his family is going to think I'm trying to kill him. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was just upset that he had to go to the hospital. And it was like, in my opinion, especially now, I'm like, good. He should be in the hospital.
Right.
For other reasons. But yeah, he should be in the hospital. And it took me to a completely different place of like, my mother isn't ready for this kind of stuff. So I told her, all right, I lied to try and help her in a sense.
Right.
I regret it every fucking day, but I didn't feel like I had much of a choice. She was so worried about this guy who just took advantage of her daughter, right, that she completely forgot as to why he was stressing out in the first place. Where that came from in the first place.
Right. I look at it as well as like, it's a really bad situation. And then like, how you're talking about your mom, like what she was going through crying. And it's kind of fucked up to think like, okay, obviously it's your stepdad. So your mom's been married before.
Yes.
So it's like a chain of events that just keeps fucking happening. So like, damn, I can't get a break. Like, okay, I had a husband here. These fucking things happen. I have a daughter who's coming to me telling me that this husband did this to her. It's like, damn, where can I get this break at? So yeah. It's like, I feel for you, you know what I'm saying? And like what you went through and like how fucked up it was and like how you were able to make it through it. And then I also kind of feel for your mom in a kind of way. Like, yeah, it's kind of fucked up that like, it's like that the first time something wasn't done, but then like, it's like she's been through so much as well. It's like kind of like her brain is kind of trying to shut it off,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I say this all the time, and I've said this to my mother as well. I consider my mother a very weak person. Mm-hmm. And the reason behind that is she just really, I don't believe in like, you have bad luck with men or women or whatever the case may be. Like, we do have the choice in the people that we put in our lives. Mm-hmm. And you would think that after my father, or even during my father, right, that she would learn the signs of a not okay guy, right? Especially when other people in other situations have punched her in the face mm-hmm. numerous times to be like, you shouldn't do this. She's just like, no, I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to give it a shot. And it's like, you keep doing this and it fucks up everybody who's in that circle. So it's going to fuck up you. It's going to fuck up your kids. It's going to fuck up any other family that may have any insight on this situation. And she does it time and time again. I mean, she's just newly married.
Okay.
And even him, like, I mean, it's been her whole life. She just like, it's almost like, there's a quote from a book called Perks of Being a Wallflower. And the quote is, we accept the love we think we deserve. And that's like a spitting image of my mother. She doesn't know any better. And even though she continuously tells herself, like, I deserve more and I want more, she doesn't know how to get it. She doesn't know what the difference is.
That's because we're creatures of habits. Like, we
yeah.
long for the same shit almost, even though it fucks us up in the end. It's almost like it's a comfort there. Like, there's something in that relationship. There's something in these relationships that comforts me, There's even with you and me, even with you and me, like, yeah, like you could talk about your ex and how shitty your ex was and like how you just hate that fucking person. Yeah. But then there's always that little bit of something that makes you feel like, damn, there's a reason why I love this person, Yeah. So no matter how fucked up it is, like it's kind of like that. And also me being a man, I can honestly say like we kind of go into relationships as a different person, Like I can even say me, like I can show a woman like the greatest time and like be like the nicest person, but I'm a fucking Gemini at the end of the day, So like as soon as something happens, it's like, who the fuck is who's this other person I'm talking to? Like what happened? Like, so, but I get what you mean though, by like, you feel that your mom, like she puts herself in these situations and it's like, she's almost comfortable there. So she stays stagnant,
Yeah.
So I get that.
Absolutely.
Cool. But I wanted to brighten things up a little bit, and I wanted to ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
Just a little couple rapid questions. So, when was your first heartbreak?
My first heartbreak freshman year, Nicole Rodriguez.
Okay, what did she do?
She cheated on me with my best friend.
What? Fuck you, Nicole.
She was like she moved away. She moved to Grays Lake, and I was living in Palatine. So like it was hard for us to see each other in general.
Grays, I don't know where that's at.
Grays Lake is over by Six Flags, so like Waukegan area.
Oh, so she was cheating at Six Flags and shit, huh?
No. See, the thing was, is she was coming back to Palatine, and that's when she was cheating on me. So when she would be like, yeah, I'm coming down, and I'm going to see all my friends and stuff, she would like push me to the side and then go fuck somebody else.
So she was sneaky.
She was a sneaky little bitch, yeah, for sure.
Hey, Nicole, you got Cinthia fucked up. That's fucked up. Whatever, bitch.
You know what, though? Afterwards, like, she taught me a valuable lesson. And after that, I was a complete and utter hoe, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I would fuck around. I didn't care if I wasn't really in like a whole lot of relationships, like actual relationships. It was really just me. I was just going around, fucking around, doing me.
Hey, sometimes that's what you got to do to find the right one.
Yeah.
Got to go through that page, that book. It might be 100 pages in that book, but hopefully 101. That's the right one,
Yeah.
So which sibling gives you the biggest headache?
My middle brother. I'm the youngest, but my middle brother definitely gives me the biggest headache. He's a pompous motherfucker. Is what it is. Yeah, he gives me a headache for sure. Like my oldest brother's got his own stuff going on, and like he's definitely an idiot with a lot of stuff. But my middle brother is just like. Sometimes I wonder if he thinks before he speaks.
I can name a couple things as well with you. This motherfucker got OCD. He legit crazy.
Yep.
He try to fight everybody. He thinks jiu-jitsu works against a gun. Like if somebody had a gun pointed at his head, he thinks that he can put him in a headlock and they'll just work. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But at the end of it, he's still a cool person though. He's all right.
Yeah, he's all right.
I don't like him that much, but. So can you describe yourself in 3 words?
Brave, patient, and asshole.
Asshole. What makes you an asshole?
Oh, I'm such an ass. I actually was talking to my boss about this yesterday. I'm the type of person who I'm in sales.
Okay.
And sales can be a very tough industry because there's a certain, especially depending on the type of sales, you're going to have bad weeks, right? Mm-hmm. Or bad days or something like that. And the best way to get somebody back up and working is to be an asshole to them, to tell them how shitty that they are and how shitty they've always been. And all of a sudden they're like, fuck, maybe I should try something else. And it makes things better. But I do that a lot, but I'm also just really fucking blunt. So like, if you're being dumb, I'm going to tell you you're being dumb.
Are you going to say like, you're being dumb? You're going to be like, you're a fucking dumbass or like that?
No, like, you're a fucking idiot.
Okay.
Sit down and shut up.
But you mean it out of love though?
Sometimes. Like we have this one employee, I'm not going to mention her name, but we have meetings every Monday and Thursday, and she just loves to fucking talk. She loves to argue, and she's this older woman. And the other day we had our meeting, and she's like a kind of a hippie, and I was like, you're putting a lot of bad energy into the atmosphere right now. So if you could try to turn that around, make it more positive, and sit down and shut the fuck up, that'd be great. Everybody was fucking silent. I just turned around, went to my boss. I was like, continue, please.
I feel like asshole kind of rubs off too. Like it can rub off on the kids as well.
Oh, my kids are absolute assholes. Absolutely.
Yeah, mine's can be an asshole too. I think it comes from me though, because his mom's like super nice. She could be an asshole too, but like towards me. Yeah. But like somebody can talk to me and I can just sit there without giving them any type of conversation. Like they're having a whole conversation with me and I just totally ignore him. So then my son, he'll ignore you, but then like he'll act like he just doesn't even know who the fuck you are. Like you could be like, "Oh, what's up, Lane?" And he'll look at you dead in your face and be like, "I don't know who you are." And you could have been hanging out with him like a month ago.
Nice.
It's crazy.
Nice. Gotta love kids.
Yeah. What's your biggest addiction?
My biggest addiction? I mean, I smoke. I'm a smoker, but I don't know. I don't have. I guess if anything, I would probably say I'm addicted to work.
Okay.
I absolutely love work. I love being the best at what I do too. So like, if there's somebody above me, I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna take your spot.
You want to take that spot, number one spot. Yeah. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah, damn right. I'm second best to no one. Absolutely no one. So, yeah, no, I'd probably say, yeah, I'm definitely like addicted to work. I'm a workaholic for sure. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to get there.
Good, get that money.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Who's one person you wish you hadn't met?
One person I wish I hadn't met? I can't say that there's a particular I mean, like, everybody who I've met, whether they've, like, screwed me over or anything like that, like, every single person has taught me a very valuable lesson in life. And if I'm like, oh no, there's so many people who've kind of screwed me over and I just wish I just never dealt with them. If I didn't deal with them, I wouldn't be prepared for the next person who did it. You know what I mean? So I can't really say that I regret meeting anybody.
Okay. What's one thing that you're most afraid of?
Florida spiders.
Florida spiders?
In particular, Florida spiders.
I've only been to Florida once, and I was in Miami, but I was in the airport, so I didn't get to see too much. So, like, what the spiders look like?
This thing was completely fucking bald. It was brown.
Okay.
But it was ginormous. I mean, this thing was like
8-legged freak type shit?
Yeah, absolutely. Just like that. And it was, we were in a drive-thru, and we were like getting smoothies and stuff, and I'm ordering, and my wife's like hitting me on my shoulder, and I'm like, what? You know, like, I'm ordering, like, why are you bugging me right now? And she points up, and this ginormous freaking spider's there. And I remember like unbuckling me, I unbuckled her, I pushed her out of her side of the door because that fucking spider was right above my head. Pushed her out for my own safety. I have no shame in admitting that. I saved her to save myself. Right. But that thing just fucked me up. We almost got rid of the car in general just because like we were never able to find it afterwards. And we took a cross country road trip and we would sleep in the car. And every once in a while, like one of us would be like, you know, we never found that spider. And then we wouldn't be able to sleep for the rest of the night.
Oh, to burn the whole car. Fuck that shit. I'm not dealing with no big ass spiders. That's crazy. So what's your lifelong dream?
Lifelong dream, that's an easy one. So I want to own a plot of land in like Washington or Oregon. Okay. Somewhere just like deep in the woods with some mountains in the background. I want to build my own home there. Nothing too crazy, but I do want to build my own home, have a bunker underneath, have a slew of dogs. My wife really wants a cow, like one of those miniature cows. So we're probably going to have one of those. Okay. And just like live off the land.
Okay. And you want to grow weed there too? Or is it just, you just want to live off the land?
Oh, well, you know what? It's legal now in Illinois. Yeah, no, I'll grow my own weed. No, actually, my wife's allergic to marijuana.
I know somebody who said that same thing. That's weird as fuck. How can you, that's weird.
So, like for instance, my mom has claimed that she was allergic to marijuana for like her entire life. Okay. And it was actually just because it was just the effects you get from smoking pot, you know, like paranoia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like she just never really knew. But my wife, I took that information, and when my wife told me, I was like, you know, it's probably just, you know, the effects of actually smoking pot. And she's like, oh, so everybody who smokes pot goes into anaphylactic shock. And I was like, no, not everybody chokes on their tongue. That's what happens to you? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, never mind. We won't smoke around you. That's fine. So, I mean, I can grow it, but I won't be able to smoke it. I can sell it, make a fuck ton of money though.
Okay, Cinthia is?
Cinthia is crazy. Yeah. So we used to live in this like mansion, the Goddess Mansion. Mm-hmm. And my brothers and I, because we had a lot of land, so we would take like our cars, like our actual cars, out into this big plot of land that we had and just do donuts in it while somebody was on the roof of the car. And this one particular time, my middle brother, because he's an asshole, had me up there, and I specifically told him, I was like, you know, like don't do anything too crazy, like we don't want to die. He chucked me off the top of that car. I smashed my head. But on top of that, he was spinning, and he almost ran me over with that car, too. But, of course, he came out, and he's like, dude, that was sick. And I was like, I almost died.
Crazy, right?
But it was fun. Let's do it again.
That's crazy. Wow. What would you say to the man who violated you? What is one thing that you would say to him? And, like, what do you wish for him in the future?
I would say don't go near any schools. Don't do that. Stay away. But also, I hope your penis gets chopped off. I hope that becomes a law for sure, because he's just a fucking dumbass idiot.
Or maybe they can inject them with something so then like it can't
They're
even
constantly flaccid.
Yeah, like just can't even get hard anymore.
Well, but that's what creates murderers, like serial killers.
But you don't think chopping it off would...
I mean, it would probably fuck them up too. But like the reason that a lot of people become like serial killers is because they're flaccid and it just won't work. And so the only way that it manages to work is by like torturing and killing somebody.
Okay. That's a little
which
creepy.
is fucked up.
Yeah, that's fucked up. So you being as brave as you were, what would you tell the next young lady who's going through the same things as you're going through right now? So who's been raped and who's actually transitioning or who may be lesbian? Like, what would you tell them?
Two different things. So for starters, any young woman or woman in general, any girl who has had a situation where they have been taken advantage of sexually or physically, like it's almost the same situation of you just being abused, right? So what I would say to them for starters is obviously you're not alone. There are so many women out there who have gone through the same thing or are currently going through the same thing. You are not alone. You are not stupid. You're not, weak in any way, shape, or form. But the way that you can gain that power back, that control over your own life, is by speaking up. And the hardest part is the moment that you do it, because you don't know how people are going to react. If you have to go to court, you don't know if you're going to win or lose. There's 1,000,001 different things that can happen. However, because of that, because you were able to get that off your chest, because it'll be easier to live with later on. And obviously it's going to be hard for everybody. I'm never going to push somebody to do something they don't want to do. But I promise you, it becomes 1,000 times easier. It's easier to breathe, right? And for those girls out there who are thinking they're gay or don't want to, talk to their family quite yet, that one's on you. There's no good time to come out of the closet, literally ever. Mm-hmm. And you could very well have awesome parents. You could have the parents who already know, but they're respecting you and wanting, you to come out to them, right?
Right.
There's never going to be a good reason for that. And frankly, if you're gay, be fucking gay. There should never ever be a situation or a person, anything like that should ever stop you from being you. We don't go around telling straight people that they shouldn't be straight, that they're less than for that. And they're not actually any different than us. They just like opposite sex, whereas we like the same sex. You be you. We got Pride coming up in this month. Fucking go to Pride. Let all your gayness out there if you need to. Whatever the case may be. You'll find people at Pride who will take you in as their own. Mothers who will be on the side hugging children, or adults even, who were mistreated by their parents before. Just be you, dude. No one, especially in today's world, no one's going to judge you for that. Just be you.
Dope. Well, I appreciate you coming on this podcast and talking to me, talking about your brave story and just telling us what you've been through in life. And I really appreciate that. And I'm pretty sure the people who are going to be watching this are going to appreciate it as well. So thank you. This is Devon Smith with Headaches and Heartbreaks, episode 3 with special guest Cinthia Astacio. See you next time.